Hi everybody, this is Amanda coming to you from the Monticello Library again, and we are back with a cooking class. I know it has been a very long time and I'm happy to be able to be back with you guys again. Today we are making something called easier, better than takeout chicken fried rice. Super simple chicken fried rice basically is what this is. I found this recipe on a site called Avery Cooks, and if you want to know anything about any of the recipes, feel free to message us and we'll get you the information. So the ingredients today are sesame oil and canola oil, which is 2 tablespoons of each already in the pan. We have about a pound and a half of chopped up cubed chicken breasts. We have 2 cups of frozen, and I'm using mixed vegetables today. The recipe calls for frozen peas and carrots. What we have is mixed veggies. So as you know, I'm a cook that just uses what I have. So that's what we're gonna use today. We also have 3 green onions, sliced up into thin rounds. I have 3 large eggs beat up, which we're going to use at the very end. I have 4 cups of rice that I pre-cooked. Already did that. If you're interested in my no-fail rice recipe, feel free to message me and I'll send it to you. And then obviously we're going to use soy sauce and salt and pepper at the end. As you can hear, my pan is ready. My oil is about ready. So we're going to add the chicken. And if you've already got your rice cooked, guys, this recipe is going to go together in about 20 minutes. Not going to take you very long at all. A shortcut as well, if you don't want to make homemade rice, is you can just use 2 packets of the quick microwave rice, because that would equal 4 cups. There's 2 cups in each packet, so you could just do it that way. So I'm just hitting this chicken, guys, with salt and pepper. And I'm going to hit it with a little bit of garlic powder. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I cook with garlic almost every single time I cook. And we're just gonna cook this chicken. It'll take a little bit here. We're gonna turn our pan up. Again, today I'm in our program room, and so in this room we do not have a stove. So I'm using an induction burner, as I have for my past videos. I love the induction burner. It's really no fail. The great thing about it, normally in these classes I'm teaching teenagers, so if a teenager walks up and puts their hand on the burner like I'm doing right now, this burner's on 700 degrees and it's cool to the touch. It's the one thing I love about it. Or if you're in a small space, RV or such, this is also a great option for that. So we're gonna cook the chicken down, and we will come back with you. So we're gonna pause this, cook our chicken, come back, walk through the recipe, and dinner will be done in just a few minutes. So we'll see you shortly. Hey guys, we're back. So I've pulled all the chicken out of the pan, but I've left the oil and the chicken juices and drippings. You want that for this recipe. And all I'm doing is adding in our mixed vegetables. And they are frozen. This calls for them to be frozen. Again, this is super quick. I'm also putting our green onions in real fast. And we're gonna cook this down, not long. I think the recipe says 2 minutes or so. I believe that's where we're at. Yep, about 2 minutes. So we're just gonna cook this down. Let those get going here a second. One of the things I want to talk about too while this is cooking is, I'll show you the rice I made. So I made this rice, and as you can see, my helper today is Tina Ward, and she's going to zoom in. You can tell, if you look closely, this was made with chicken broth. This is not white. I love making rice with chicken broth, and that's what the recipe that I use to make rice at home calls for. I don't always do it that way if the recipe doesn't call for chicken, but I think if the recipe already has chicken, chicken broth just enhances the flavor of your rice, and it actually is my favorite stovetop rice recipe. And I've been making it, I don't know, a couple years now, I think. But I just wanted you to know I made it with chicken broth in case you're looking at it going, that doesn't look like white rice. It is white rice. I do the same recipe with brown rice, by the way, so if you prefer brown rice, you could do the same exact thing. We are just waiting on the vegetables, and then everything's gonna go together pretty fast, guys. We're gonna scramble our eggs up, and then we're just gonna mix everything together. Again, super, super fast, especially if your rice is done, or you're using those bags like I talked about earlier. If you're using pre-cooked chicken, even faster, although you want your oils and your drippings. So I don't know that I would necessarily do that. You could use pre-cut chicken, that would be okay if you wanted to kind of speed it up. But either way, I mean, this stuff is done so fast. You can throw this together for a quick lunch if you've got all your kiddos home, or for supper at night after you get home from work. Because like I said, this is something that I do at home. And again, I told you today we used the mixed vegetables. I've told you before, use whatever meat and whatever veggies you want. If you're not a fan of chicken and you would rather have your stir fry with another meat, do that. If you're not a fan of mixed veggies and you only want corn or carrots or peas, do that. Do what fits for your family. and what is easiest for you. So I think this has gone about 2 minutes. Now the recipe says that we're gonna push all this stuff to the side because we need a place to scramble our eggs. And this is not a wok, guys. I will say this, if you are making this at home and you have a wok, use your wok. It will make your life just a little bit easier. I mean, it's not gonna be impossible for me to do it this way. It's just gonna be a little trickier. This is 3 eggs already beaten, by the way. And there is a sink behind me, so that's why I keep throwing the dirty stuff in. So we're just gonna scramble these up really fast, which they're already doing what they need to do. It's not gonna take me long. I'm gonna crank my heat just a bit, just to get the eggs, because I want these eggs to go fast so that I can put everything together. The next thing we're gonna do as soon as these eggs are done, and as you know, if you scramble eggs at home, it doesn't take long if your heat's up high. Couple of quick minutes. And yes, I've got some of the veggies in the eggs. That's not gonna hurt anything. As long as the bulk of them's over here, they're still gonna scramble, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're doing exactly what I want them to do. Just so you're all aware, we're gonna try to go back to doing once a week cooking videos for you guys, at least for the short-term future, until we can be open fully here at the library. Since we're not open and I'm not able to have kids in to do my class, we're gonna start doing these again. So if you have suggestions for something you'd like me to make, that you'd like to see done or you're interested in, feel free to do that. You can always call the library and talk to me too as well. If there's a recipe that you just think we should make for cooking, for this cooking class that we're doing. My eggs are almost, they're soft now, but they're gonna finish as we get everything going. So we're gonna wait just a second. They're just about done, and then I'm gonna mix everything together and get all this going. One thing I may do too, I saved a little of my chicken broth from earlier, and if this ends up being a little dry, I may hit it with some chicken broth once I get everything in there. Okay, I'm gonna mix this together. These eggs are done. And now we're gonna come back in with everything that we've made. So here goes our chicken. We're gonna kind of get that all together. Okay, we're gonna turn this down just a bit. Okay. And before I add this rice, I am going to go ahead and hit this with a little chicken broth. Tina's going to turn slightly because she needs to hand it to me. I'm sorry, it's right behind you. Thank you. Joys of live cooking, guys. It's the way it works. I don't like how this is in the bottom of the pan, so I just want to be sure we've got a little bit of moisture before I put. And I did turn my heat down. I'm not sure if you saw that, but I did go back down on my heat. Okay, now we're going to come in and hit it with the rice. Okay, and it's pre-cooked, so you know it's going to be sticky when you get it in there. That's just how it works. And we're just gonna mix it all around. One of the other things we're gonna do real fast, this recipe calls for I believe it's 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. So we're gonna come in, and I am gonna measure, guys, just because I'm gonna start by following the recipe. If I need to come in and add more later, I will. And soy sauce kind of is a thing for taste too. There are people that just don't like it that much. So I'm gonna go with 3 here instead of 4, mix it up, and then probably add 1 more at the end. So we're just stirring everything together, and this looks beautiful. Looks really good. Yeah. And since there are no kids in our library today, I'm actually feeding our staff, which doesn't usually happen, but that's what we're doing today, because somebody has to eat this stuff. And since I'm doing it at work, we decided we would just feed all of our staff who've worked really hard to keep us going through this COVID crisis. So we're gonna feed them some stir fry today. And I think some of them are pretty excited about it, including the one behind the camera. So this is about it, guys. I am gonna come back and hit it with some more soy sauce. As you can see, I need that soy sauce. I need that 4th tablespoon for certain. And yes, this isn't exact, but that's okay. And we'll hit it with some more if necessary. And I'm gonna crank my heat way down to the lowest setting now, because all I want this to do, I want the flavors to meld together. And again, you can add more or less soy sauce to taste. You can use different oils, different meats, different veggies, as we discussed earlier. So here it is, guys, our takeout, better than takeout, chicken fried rice. I've enjoyed being back with you guys again today, and hopefully I will see you again next week. Feel free to leave comments, or like I said, suggestions for recipes you'd like to see me try here in the kitchen, and I'd be happy to do that for you. So it was great to be with you today, and until next time, keep cooking, guys.